Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring bodybuilding in the bottom left corner, playing our red Protoss, and in the top right we have DeviantBum, our teal Protoss. It is a PvP. We are on Daybreak, and this is off of the GameFAQS tourney, currently going on, hosted by Bone Carlos, and we are in the third tier, because bodybuilding I know has beaten somebody else in the second tier, so this could be the semifinals, something like that. I don't know, I haven't looked at the bracket for a little while. I do know that both players have won to get themselves here. Both players are in Masters, both players are really good, and that it is a best of 3. So this is game 1, and we are guaranteed another game, at least probably two, because they're both in Masters. They're both Protoss though, which means that the build order is going to be incredibly similar for the next like 3 minutes. You have a pylon, and down with bodybuildings we also have a pylon. Now there's going to be a gateway place, but the placement of the gateway is not at all important, because you could have it up here, over here, over by the nexus, or you could have it like walling off the probes or something like that. Well, this guy he drops the gateway. Oh my goodness, the gateway goes right there, and over here we have it right by the Vespene guys. I'm done. That's all you're gonna get out of me. DeviantBum moving out his probe, as well as bodybuilding, just scouting around, making sure that there's no shenanigans going on, because really that's the only build order difference that you can get early on in this game, is you have like a pylon placed here, or I've seen one that was like right here, and the pylon was finishing as the scouting probe was leaving, and he saw him go, and then he was like making it like he was gonna walk up the ramp, and then saw the probe go and turn around, gateway, and instant win. It was great. It was really funny, and I need to find that replay and cast it. It was hilarious. So gateway for both players up, gas for both players up, cybernetics core just now starting. I think that was pretty much, yeah, it was spot on. Both players right on top of each other with the build. No proxy pylons on the map. So it's gearing up like both players are going to be throwing down that weird structure in just a couple of seconds. It looks like it's going to be a second gas for bodybuilding, followed by a second gateway. So could be thinking about some higher tech, maybe even a starport, or just fast expand with some forges thrown down. Got to spend that gas on something. Got to justify that gas though. DeviantBum hasn't spent his gas on anything just yet, starting on that warp gate tech right away. Is deciding to throw down another gateway instead of that other gas, just a couple of seconds behind bodybuilding. It could be that he's thinking about a faster expand, but it's way too early to tell. It's all just conjecture at this moment. He's kept his probe alive though, and he's running around with his. No workers killed, no probes killed. It looks like bodybuilding has pulled his back in time also to avoid that first stalker popping out. First stalker coming out from DeviantBum just to deny the scouting from first stalker coming out from bodybuilding to deny the scouting from DeviantBum, also using DeviantBum's first stalker to check behind that mineral line, make sure that there wasn't any parting gift from the probe that was just up there. Second gas grabbed for DeviantBum, and he's got his second gateway on. So bodybuilding's just a little bit faster on the tech that he wanted to get out, but I think the end result is that the harvester count's going to be favoring. Oh, bodybuilder also. It's using that. What's the timing for? Looks like DeviantBum's got one more chrono boost down on his warp gate, and I guess that chrono boost was spent on warp gate tech. A small skirmish in the front, 3 stalkers against 2. One of them very weak. Wow, only 12 hit points, but it looks like he's in the lead, so he's going to make it back home as his shields start to regenerate. Still, the benefit is in bodybuilding's favor. We can see 2 more stalkers are being built, chrono boosted on the way, just in case this is some sort of 4-gate shenanigans, but it is not. Bodybuilding's getting out a nexus back home. It's just off of the 2-gate, and he's not blowing a bunch of chrono boosts on the warp gate tech. He's spending it all on the probes. The 3 stalkers still flirting with the front door. Oh, but there's 4 upstairs focusing down that weakened stalker at the cost of 2 of his own. Ooh, just 1? It is 2 of his own. Not the most cost-effective of engagements for bodybuilding, but it's a very small difference in resources lost. Yeah, you really want that stalker out to aid in the early defenses, but I don't think DeviantBum is gearing up like he wants to do some super aggression. He has the 3-gate into Robo. Oh, and it's going to be a warp prism, so it's going to be some nice harassment out of him. Probably not an all-in. Still, 5 stalkers at the front. Bodybuilding doesn't have a lot of units on the field. Probably going to have to think about canceling that Nexus. He does, pulling back with 2 sentries up on the high ground to hold that ramp. 5 stalkers down on the low ground with the sentry. Wants to use the probe to scout the high ground. It does a couple pot shots from the stalkers, but not enough. Good placement there from the force field. Warp Prism is out on the field, going to be moving down. Hopefully, DeviantBum can hold the attention of Bodybuilding's main force at the ramp enough time bot for that Warp Prism to go and drop some cost-efficient zealots at the home base. Robo is up for Bodybuilding though, and he's got another gateway on the way. Going to be a 3-4 gate total with the Robo. I think this is Bodybuilding having to adapt. He couldn't get the Nexus up that he wanted to. He wanted to get those units, that economy, in full swing. Instead, he has to get these unit producing structures, which is bad for him. He didn't want that. 3 zealots. It's also bad for Bodybuilding in the probe line going to work for those workers. 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. Force field on the ramp just to hold them in place as the stalkers react. 4 workers killed total before the zealots can turn around. I don't know which unit came out on top. Yeah, the resources lost doesn't really tell you the whole story, but the income tab is still pretty much neck and neck, and that was a lot of resources lost mineral-wise for those zealots. There was 3 zealots, I think, 4 maybe, and that's a lot of minerals, and the probes that they killed, there was only 5 of them, and I don't know if that's a fair trade. Probably not, but what is a fair trade is this right here. Bodybuilding having to be cautious. He has to keep his stalkers back home because he's afraid of that Warp Prism. He's afraid that Warp Prism is going to come in and do some more harassment, and it makes the force pushing out from Bodybuilding significantly weaker. Those stalkers would really like to be part of that main force, and they're not going to be. However, Bodybuilding has taken control of the main map. He's moving out with his force, taking down those proxy pylons, missing one just to the north of his expansion. But DeviantBum has to pull all the way back, begin to get units up right now. He's got a robotics facility working on an Immortal, but the robotics bay is just now being started. His 3-gate is... he's really got to start spending money to get units out because he's not going to be able to hold this push from Bodybuilding if he doesn't get out more units. Oh, the misrallied Immortal had come back down to join up with the force, but instead of being rallied to a unit, it was instead rallied to a location and wound up at the front door of DeviantBum probably. At the same time, the Warp Prism decides to come back in, drop off 2 zealots, and die. Those 2 zealots are not going to manage to do anything at home. They're going to get focused down by those stalkers. Ooh, that stalker's taking some damage. Probably going to take him down. I've got them selected though so we can watch them. The stalker survives, all 3 of them actually, for the cost of 2 zealots. So overall a net loss for DeviantBum, probably wanting to buy some more time to keep this force away. Oh, that Immortal is just flirting with death. Really wants to come back up and meet up with DeviantBum's main army, but unfortunately he cannot. Bodybuilding pushing right now, some nice force fields wedging that Immortal in place, just out of range though of DeviantBum's main force up top. Oh, the Immortal has come back in. DeviantBum pushing down the ramp. That Immortal gets surrounded and taken down. 1 Immortal, just the 1 Immortal right now for Bodybuilding, but quite a lot of zealots and plenty of energy on those sentries, so he'll definitely be able to control the ground once he gets to the top of that ramp, but I don't know if he's going to be able to push up. He's got 2 Immortals to deal with at the top. Oh, and now a Colossus joining the fray. No, absolutely not. But on the back of this, Bodybuilding's finally getting up that expo that he wanted to. His economy is going to be to outpace DeviantBum, and that's going to be good for him. That's going to be very good for him. Surprising that we don't see that observer scouting that high ground so that those sentries can use some of their energy to force back that force, get up a nice concave. DeviantBum frotted. How do you say that? Throtted? I don't know. He couldn't do what he wanted to do, so he has to pull back. And the proxy pylon goes down at the... that's funny. Throtted. It goes down at the expo, and DeviantBum moves out with that Colossus. He's very comfortable with his unit composition right now. All of a sudden, Bodybuilding's on the back foot. Doesn't have enough Immortals out to answer back, but 2, and with the 3rd on the way, he'll be in pretty good shape. And he's going to be saturating that expo. So if he can hold off this push coming from DeviantBum, he'll be in fantastic shape. No expo out of No expo out of DeviantBum just yet. He really needs to do some major damage with this push. He is making his way across the field to take out all those pylons first and foremost. 3 zealots waiting in the wing, probably going to be pushing up to the expo as soon as DeviantBum's army is confirmed to be on the front door. One of these gateways needs to be a warp prism. Some nice positioning out of Bodybuilding. Wants to hold DeviantBum at the choke, which might be a mistake actually, because he's got more zealots, I think. Yeah, they're pretty much neck and neck. So the concave is going to be favoring that Colossus. Is going to be able to rain down a lot of AoE damage. It might be better suited for Bodybuilding to position his army up to the north side so that when Colossus pushes through, it'll be at the rear of the army and he'll be able to swing down and take out that Colossus. But maybe I'm just overanalyzing this. That could be kind of ballsy because it would leave the expo completely exposed to all of those zealots and he'd lose a lot of probes. But it might be something he could consider. Later on, 2 Immortals and 1 Colossus against 4 Immortals and a ridiculous number of Stalkers and Sentries. Oh, second Colossus joining the fray just now, going to take down this destructible debris so that the concave is going to be much larger than normal. DeviantBum having to pull back. These armies are pretty much neck and neck. No harassment from those zealots, so I'm going to go ahead and remove all the UI. Pushing in, the zealots have gone against each other. The AoE from the Colossi quickly microing them down, but the heavy number of Immortals makes short work of all of the zealots. All of a sudden, every piece of meat shield is gone. The Stalkers and Sentries are not designed to deal with that much damage, having to pull back. It looks like the units lost tab minorly favoring DeviantBum, but not by much. The zealots need to be in the way of the Immortal so that they can't hit those Colossi. Some really good unit control by DeviantBum to pull back like he is doing. You can see on the minimap a 3rd Colossus is going to be joining the fray shortly. Those Immortals tanking so much damage. All of a sudden we have only a single Immortal for Bodybuilding on the field. 3 of them have gone down, and all the expensive units for DeviantBum are still up, still kiting with those Colossi, scooting back, hitting them, allowing those Colossi to stack up on the Stalkers, and he's being so cost effective. And we were neck and neck just a couple seconds ago, and now there's a 2,000 deficit in the favor of DeviantBum. Really, really important. These probes are going to do nothing except for die a fiery death, especially as zealots begin to be added back into the mix. A nice play there. Another meat shield just to protect those Colossi. Don't really need Stalkers, doesn't really need Immortals. He just needs zealots and Colossi. Everything dies very quickly for Bodybuilding now that the Immortals are down. Nice play, DeviantBum. That was really good with those Colossi. It's going to be interesting to see if Bodybuilding decides to switch up his build. He was kind of put on the back foot by not being able to get the expo up that he wanted to get up. And, I think DeviantBum really just wanted to get those Colossi up because that seems to be his jam. We're going to see who takes the second game, maybe even if it goes on to the third. I will see you guys later. Hey, if you have a replay you want me to cast, you could PM me here or on Reddit, or you could leave me a comment if you have something to say one way or another. I'll see you guys later. I am Ibigandscary. Bye.